As the coaches meeting commences, we welcome you to MCTV Baseball here in another District 6 showdown between the Mifflin County Huskies taking on the Altoona Mountain Lions. Hello, everybody. My name's Aiden Stevens. We welcome you on a cloudy Tuesday afternoon where Mifflin County tries to get their second win of the season and also their second win in district play. Mifflin County last week on a Wednesday, picking up their first win of the season at home against State College in 2-1 fashion. Scored both of the runs in the third inning. Or they had both of their runs at the time of the end of the third inning. And then, obviously, you got to give credit to Parker Crownover and Chase Hartung for carrying those 7 innings of just one hit baseball. Mifflin County is going to be in the all-black jerseys. Altoona will in the maroon top and white pants. Some of the now it's a pretty packed park here in Altoona. Home opener for the Mountain Lions. It's Mifflin County's first away game of the campaign. Last time here at Memorial Field, Mifflin County picked up a 6-2 victory. A 6-2 win here. Scored 4 of those runs in the top of the 5th inning. Propelled Mifflin County to the victory, and then at home the Huskies lost. So the away team won both games in this showdown last year, and obviously in the District 6 semifinals, Mifflin County picked up a 3-2 win to advance them to the championship game, which they lost to State College. Altoona lost their previous game. They were at Mechanicsburg. They lost in 5 innings. 12-2 was the final score at the end of the game. So this is going to be a big game for Altoona if they want to grab some momentum. So as we can see here, very big crowd down the Altoona line. Unfortunately, we aren't able to get behind home plate. Some of the screening. Can't really see it from here, but there's red screening behind home plate. I don't think anybody would like to watch a baseball game from a red screen. Pretty big field, as we can see. Take a look around. Dead center, 400 feet. These walls, well over 12 feet. So it's going to be tough to get one out of the park, especially with the wind as we take a look at the American flag blowing blowing from center field towards home plate. If anything, it might be pushing a little bit down the right field line. But nonetheless, we are moments away from first pitch. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV coverage. We welcome you back to Memorial Field. Wind is blowing very heavily. Sort of similar to last week's game against State College, if you were able to watch that one. On the bump for the Mountain Lions today, it's going to be number 27. My apologies here, just pulling up the roster, making sure I get the name right. Bump. Number 27, McConnell, leading off for Mifflin County. Going to be number 23, Evan Strohecker. Strohecker, an all-state second teamer last year, hit well above 400 and was really consistent at the plate. I believe there was stretches where he had a 8 game hitting streak. Expect him to always get a barrel on the bat. You very rarely see the center fielder strike out. On the bump for the Huskies, Dad Gerwick. But we'll have to wait until the bottom half of the inning to see how he will do in his first start of the 2026 season. First pitch is almost underway here from Memorial Field. The wind really blowing. Mifflin County's already got one District 6 win. Can they pick up another against Altoona? Throw down to second. That means it's time for baseball. The left-handed center fielder is going to step into the box. Altoona's huddling around McConnell. Strohecker steps in. Time on the East Coast, 4:14, a little bit ahead of schedule. First pitch from Memorial Field, and we are underway. We'll take strike one. Strohecker. Second game last year for the Huskies was also here at Altoona. Proved it 2-0. Strohecker chops one up the middle for the shortstop. Will get away. Strohecker will reach on base with an infield single. One batter, one base runner for the Huskies. That's what Strohecker is so good at doing. He's able to hit it up the middle, find the weakness in the defense. He's able to capitalize and get on base. Now batting Carl Shirey, shortstop for Mifflin County today. Had a double in the first inning against State College. Strohecker takes his lead. Left-handed looks. Goes back and fires. That one's going to be chopped. It's going to stay fair. They're going to get the runner out at first. Strohecker will stay at second. It's a sacrifice hit. 3 pitches, 1 out, 1 runner. In scoring position. Now batting catcher Easton Lepley. Lepley had both RBIs in the victory over State College. Top 3 of the order really did the heavy carrying whenever it came to the win. Had a lot of hits, got a lot of guys on base, and had a lot of RBIs. Had both RBIs. They're called time. I believe it's going to be for Weaver not being in the on-deck circle. Maybe he's too far, too close to the field. So he'll take a step back. Lepley has every single RBI for the Huskies this season. Here's the 0-0. We'll take high. Will be ball 1. Senior catcher now steps back into the right-hander's batter's box. Mifflin County trying to strike early here with a runner on second. Here comes the 1-0. Curve. Might have been a slider. Tough to tell from this angle. It's looked high. It's the ump will call. 5th pitch of the game. It's a 2-0 count to the catcher. Strohecker takes his lead over at second. Looks back. Here's the 2-0. Lepley fouls it back out of play. We had 2-1 count with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. This outfield, don't expect anything to leave the yard, and if something does, batter got a hold of that one. Outfield playing moderately deep for Lepley. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sets. Fires. Lepley fouls it back. Had a good read on it. Count will go 2-2. Nice job dealing with the adversity. You have a runner in scoring position. It's a 2-0 count. Able to get 2 foul balls. Now 1 swing and miss, and you have 2 outs with a runner in scoring position still. But we know Lepley can have good, long, hard at bats. Here's the 2-2. Sets, fires, swings through strike 3. And quickly, there are 2 outs on 8 pitches. Lepley talking to Weaver, giving him some advice. So here comes the second baseman stepping into the left-hander's batter's box. Striker thought about going there. Had a pretty solid jump, decided not to. Thought better of it. Still a runner in scoring position, and anything in the outfield will score the run. Strohacker takes off for third. High throw down. He's safe in time. Strohacker has a stolen base. So now the runner, depending on how quick Weaver can get down the first base line, even an infield hit, could score the Huskies a run. 1-0 count. Pitch was called a ball. Weaver on the left-hand side, pitcher on the right. Here comes the 0-1. So they called it a strike, actually. It's an 0-2 count. Looked at the scoreboard. It said it was 1-0. Turns out it was 0-1. Sorry for the misread there. Here comes the 0-2 to the second baseman. Takes strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Weaver didn't like it. And after the runner gets stranded on third, 0 are scored. Let's see what Thad Gerwick can do on the mound here in the bottom half of the first. 0 scored with 1 hit for the Huskies. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. Thad Gerwick on the bump for Mifflin County. It's a 3-pitch mix. Has the fastball, the slider, and the splitter. But don't expect to see a lot of that out of that third pitch, though. Usually likes to favor the fastball or the slider, depending on how the slider feels. It's really blowing right now. I'm not sure if the audio is picking up just how bad the wind is. Leading off for the Mountain Lions will be the center fielder, Pike. So let's see if Altoona can get their first lead of the season. Did not lead at all in their first game. Fist bumps to the pitcher. Pike, right-handed hitting center fielder. Leister playing at first. Weaver and Shirey guarding the middle part of the infield, and Rubles at third. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. Takes ball low. Got Christine in right. Strohecker at center. And you have, here's the 0, or the 1-0. You have Beamer out in left. Pike takes strike one there. Motorcycle revs by as here comes the 1-1. That one's going to get hit to Christine and right. Able to field it nice and cleanly for the first out. Christine played third base a little last year. Also saw him a little bit at first. First time seeing him in the outfield this season. Didn't see a whole lot of that. Here comes the first pitch. Will take ball one. Now batting Noah Kraft. Here comes the 1-0. Kraft will take strike one. So now catcher takes 2-1's the count. Comes the 2-1. We'll take strike two. Already have a little movement for the Huskies. You have both pitchers from the Winning at State College. Here's the 2-2. Takes on the outside part of the plate. We'll go full. You have both Hartung and Crownover warming up. You can see him in the background there. Here comes the full payoff pitch. We'll take ball four. Altoona's their first base runner of the game. Here comes Straub. Pitched as there's going to be a courtesy runner for Altoona. It'll be number 25. Once we get a name, I'll inform you of who that is. Here comes Straub. He threw in the loss against Gettysburg. He had 4 outs, 6 earned runs. For his sake, let's hope that's a little bit of an opening day slump. Hope that he can get back into a groove here. If you're just joining us, we welcome you to MTV Baseball. I'm Maiden Stevens. Bottom half of the first inning. Mifflin County failed to put a runner on after having a runner in scoring position. Here comes the first pitch. Gerwick with a good pitch. Called strike one. Strohecker was on second with 1 out. Then with a stolen base. 2 outs. He was on third and then got stranded there. After 2 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1. Straub takes low. We'll go ones across the board for number 11. Runner on first, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The 11th pitch of the game for number 11. It's a lot of ones. Pickoff back to first. Smart play by Leister, holding on to the ball until time was called. Seeing just in case if he lifted his hand off. Get a sneaky little out. Runner takes his lead over at first. A 1-1. That one hit Weaver. 4-6. He's going to eat it there at short. So the double play is avoided, but the lead runner is out. Straub will reach on a fielder's choice. Smart play there by Shirey. Hold on to the ball. Make sure didn't force an error. Here comes McAllister up to the plate. Straub takes an extra step at first. That one's going to be roped into left field for a base hit. Beamer gets it in quickly. Now the Mountain Lions looking to strike. Now a runner on second base with 2 outs. Now batting weighty. Comes the first pitch. That one's going to get popped high and foul out of play. So we will do it over again. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Gerwick looks back at the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Get called a ball. 1-1 count. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom half of the first inning. Mifflin County had a runner on third. Did not capitalize. After the single fielder's choice and flyout. That one hit out to Beamer. Beamer giving chase. Drops the ball, and one's going to score for Altoona with runners on the corners. And Altoona, for the first time this season, has a lead. You could partially blame that on the wind. The wind is blowing in, so it might be tough to get a read, especially it's blowing in from left field. Runners on the corners now. After the error, and Altoona gets on the board first. Mifflin County last season, for a fun fact, did not have a come-from-behind win. If they ever fell behind in a game, they did not win it. So hopefully the karma flips for the Huskies in that situation. Runners on the corners, 2 outs for the Mountain Lions. Will take ball low. Staines is at the plate. One, 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Here comes the pitch. Dropped. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Altoona leads 1-0. Reaching on the error. That one's going to be high. 3-1's the count. Gerwick trying to just get out of the jam right now. So now here comes the 3-1 from Gerwick. Take strike 2. Runners will be off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first will be off. Here comes the payoff. Swings through strike 3. Limits the damage, Thurwick does. Mifflin County trying to get that run back. 1-0. Advantage Mountain Lions. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. We welcome you back to MCTV Baseball. If you're just joining us, Altoona has the lead 1-0. Mifflin County trying to strike back. And it's all going to start with the first baseman, Chase Leister. Here comes the first pitch to the first baseman. Leister takes strike 1. It's a little bit high to me, but you can see why they call it a strike. Maybe just clip the top part of their zone. it's an 0-1 count quickly to Leister. Here comes the 0-1. Leister swings for the fences on that one. We'll go 0-2. So now here comes the 0-2 pitch to Leister. Swings through strike 3. Nothing the Huskies have been able to get going ever since Strohecker's single off the middle. Now batting Lincoln Rubel. Rubel here in his last game at this field hit a double into the left center gap, scored 2 runs. It was ultimately the X factor in that 6-2 win last season. Here comes the pitch. Rubel's going to get a hold of one, chasing down the right field line. That ball is fair. That's going to be 1 bag. Rubel's digging for 2. Low throw, the play at the bag. He is out. They called him out. Great job by Altoona to be able to reel him in. And just as Mifflin County thought they were getting a base runner, it'll be an out, the second out of the top of the second. Looked like a bang-bang play right there at the bag. Umpire called him out. Now batting Austin McKnight. Knight was dealing with an arm injury last season. Was a pitcher. Now is transformed into a hitter. Swings for the fences on that one. It'll be 0-1. Mifflin County, they struggled in the later parts of the game whenever it came to batting against State College. That one's outside. 1-1 count. Quick inning here for Altoona if they're able to get McKnight out. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Right hand hitting designated hitter. The 1-1. McKnight will take strike 2. Didn't like the pitch. One balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McKnight swings through strike 3, 2 Ks on the inning for Altoona, and an outfield assist in the top half of the second. 3 up, 3 down for the Huskies. Altoona trying to add on to this 1-0 lead. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. Welcome you to the bottom half of the second inning here at Memorial Field. If you're just joining us, my name's Aiden Stevens, Mifflin County. After the single by Strohecker, really haven't been able to get the bats going. Rubel looked like he had a double, but was called out at second base. Right now, let's see if Thad Gerwick is able to go 3 up, 3 down, just like how Altoona did in the top half of the inning. The wind has picked up since opening pitch. If you were here for that, what's the word I'm looking for? You know how strong the wind was. You can see some of the dust, at least in person you can see some of the dust picking up from the wind. Takes slow and away for ball 1. At the plate for Altoona. Here comes the 1-0. Call strike. Hainsey. 1-1 count. Takes outside. Go 2-1. The wind is blowing from center field pretty much to where we're located. So I'd say left center field to home plate. Swings through strike two. Nice slider there by Gerwick. Gerwick fires. Swings through strike three. Struck him out there for the first out of the bottom half of the second. So Hainsey will go down on strikes. Take strike one. Gerwick sets and fires. Takes ball high to McConnell, the pitcher. McConnell hitting for himself. Gonna call strike two, 1-2 count. Gerwick seems a lot more settled in this half of the inning than he did in the last. The 1-2 to the other pitcher takes outside. We'll go 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. Takes outside. We'll go full. Altoona got their first base runner in their run off of a walk. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Takes strike three. Looked like he had to move out of the way for what he thought was ball four, but was initially called strike three. So 2 up, 2 down for Gerwick. Pike. The other Pike is going to step up on to the plate. That one's going to get grounded to Weaver. Weaver fumbles with the ball. Still over in time. That'll be the end of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Gerwick. 6 up, 6 down in the whole of the second inning. When we return, Mifflin County tries to get the bats going. Don't go anywhere. You're watching live MCTV Baseball. We welcome you back to the top half of the third inning, where right fielder Reese Christine is going to lead us off for the Huskies. Collins allowed 2 hits, sorry. One was to Evan Strahacker, the leadoff batter. The other one was a single by Rubel, which he tried to leg into a double. That one might land on the track. And it did. Altoona's having track practice, so maybe a runner of theirs will pick up the ball. So the 0-1 to the right fielder takes high and outside. It's never going to be a strike. It'll be a 1-1 count. One ball, one strike, no outs. Top half of the third inning, if you're just tuning in, Altoona leads 1-0. Christine will foul back strike two. And it'll be a 1-2 count for the former third baseman, transformed into right fielder. One ball. Here comes The pitch to Christine. Takes inside. 2-2 count. That was the 22nd pitch for McConley, sorry. McConley. McAllister pitched last season against the Huskies. Here's the 2-2. That one nearly hit him. The one before was inside. That was super inside, we'll call it. Count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. First batter of the top half of the third inning. 1-0 advantage Mountain Lions. Here comes the full count pitch. Christine gets a hold of one. Right field. Left fielder giving chase. Out of play, and we'll do it again. That one, good contact, but with this field, high walls, 364 in both left and right center field, 400 dead center, and it's 320 down the line. Here comes the full count to Christine. Once more. Swings through strike 3, and another strikeout for McConley here. Now batting the 9-hitter, Joel Beamer. Beamer at the start of last season was a platoon runner. He came in for courtesy runners whenever the pitcher and or hitter got on base. Got on base. Left fielder gets into his wide stance at the plate. Here comes the 0-0. Steps off. McConley will go through the signals once more, and we'll do it again. Here's the 0-0. Sets and fires. Takes high and outside. One at the slider. Will not go. Beamer taking his time, stepping back into the box. Conley gets the call from the catcher. Here's the 1-0. Takes low. Good eye by Beamer. We'll go 2-0. Altoona scored in the bottom half of the first inning off of a fielding error by Beamer. It's the only run that's been scored. Beamer takes inside. We'll go 3-0. And you got to think here, if you're the left fielder, you're automatic take all the way. Strohecker on deck. I believe he's gotten on base every at-bat this season. Here's the 3-0. Takes inside. It'll be a 4-pitch walk for the left fielder. Mifflin County has their second base runner of the game. Now batting all-state, second-team center fielder, senior, number 23, Evan Strohecker, 1-for-1, reached on an infield single. Beamer's got speed on him, so watch out for him to possibly take off and go. Conley looks back at Beamer, looks a second time. Takes low and away for ball 1. Strohecker always finds a way to get a barrel on the ball, and he has great vision at the plate. Don't see him strike out a whole lot. Here's the 1-0. Pick off back easily. 1 out. Double play would end the inning. 1-0 count to the senior. Takes high, 2-0. You have Shirey on deck. You have Blepley in the hole if we get there. Top half of the order. Here's the 33rd pitch from McConley. Beamer takes a extra half step over. Takes inside. 7 straight balls for McConley. 3-0 count. Beamer takes his lead over at first. Steps off. Conley quickly back on to the rubber. The 3-0 pitch. Striker was taking all the way there. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to Strohacker. Beamer on first, 1 out. Top half of the 3rd inning. Strohacker takes high, ball 4. Runners on first and second for the shortstop. Fire truck passes by. Let's hope everyone and everything is okay. So we're going to have our first mound visit of the game for McConley. Shirey will be at the plate. Lepley on deck. And Weaver in the hole if we get there. 2 on, tying runs at second. Leading runs on first. Two speedy guys on the bases. Unlikely, but we could possibly see a double steal. Strohacker already has a stolen base on the game. Stole 3rd in his opening plate appearance. First pitch, Shirey will take strike on the outside part of the plate. Strike 1. 0-1, 1 out, top half of the 3rd inning. Altoona leads 1-0. Conley after the mound visit there. Probably just told him, settle down, Just focus on the guy at the plate and let the defense do the rest. Shirey has a good swing, just a little under it. We've seen that a lot with Mifflin County. Just under the ball. That would raise the bet by about a half inch or so. This game could be a lot different right now. 0-2 count to Shirey, though. Strohacker takes an extra big lead over at first. The 0-2. Takes strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Now with 2 outs on Mifflin County. Trying to get in the run column, and right now, there's not a better guy you'd rather have at the plate than the catcher, Easton Lepley. Has both RBIs on the Huskies season. Had both of them against State College. Had a sac fly and then a fielder's choice. Here comes the 0-0. Lepley takes strike 1. Didn't like the slider. McConley can get out of this jam. It'd be very impressive. Seeing how he walked both of these guys on 9 pitches combined. Just the pitch. That one fouled back. Hit the catcher right in the mask, I believe. Looks to be okay. 1 strike away, McConley is from getting out of the jam in the top half of the 3rd inning. Maybe expect to see an extra stride here out of the runners. Especially out of Strohacker. We've been seeing that all at bat. Nobody's there to pick him off at first. Here's the 0-2. Takes slow in the dirt. Runners stay put. 1-2 count. Great discipline there by Lepley. Able to be aware of the chase pitch. 1-2, 2 outs. Strohacker takes an extra half step right there. Here's the 1-2. Lepley takes high and in. 2's across the board. 2 on, 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the catcher. This is ball 3. The runners will be taking off for the full count pitch, but that's only if it's ball 3. Here's the 2-2. Swings through strike 3, and McConley able to get out of the jam. When we return, bottom half of the 3rd inning, Altoona trying to extend on to their 1-0 lead. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. Bottom half of the third inning is going to commence here. It's now coming to the plate. Number 2 for the Mountain Lions. It'll be one of the Pike twins. 0 for 1 in his first plate appearance, as we're having some movement in the bullpen for the Huskies. It'll be Parker Crownover. Got the save in the victory against the Little Lions from State College last Wednesday. Here's the windup and the pitch. Takes outside for ball 1. Gerwick went 3 up, 3 down in the bottom half of the second, trying to replicate that here. That one high and in. Gave him a haircut on that one. It'll be a 2-0 count. Gerwick quickly throws to 2-0, and that one will plunk him. Pike will get on base. Expect to see some movement in the pen. This might be the last inning for Gerwick. Runner on first, no outs. Going to try to add on to that lead. We're going to squeeze a bunt down. Rubel going to make the play over at first in time for the out. Nice job by Rubel. Able to stay composed. Good sacrifice bunt. Good play all around. Now coming up to the plate. Number 11, Straub. Straub singled his last time out. Here comes the first pitch. Takes ball 1 in the dirt. It took Mifflin County 3 innings to score here last season. It's going to take more than 3 this season, but they did have 4 in the top half of the 5th, which is what really put the nail in the coffin in that victory on April Fool's Day. Next baseball game will be not tomorrow, but the day after. Swings through. It'll be a foul tip. 2-1 to count. This will be pitch number 43 for number 43. The sun is shining now from center field. Beautiful day for baseball. A little windy, but wind isn't necessarily a bad thing. Here's the 2-1. Take strike 2. Great pitch there from Gerwick in a critical situation. Now Parker Crownover is officially warming up in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Straub. Here's the windup, pick off. Back in easily. Two balls, 2 strikes, runner on second. Gerwick, the windup and the pitch. That one is demolished. Center field. Strohecker calling for it. He'll reel it in. Runner will not tag. 2 outs in the bottom half of the third. So a hit by pitch, a sacrifice bunt, and a fly to center field. That's how the start of this inning has gone. And McAllister also got a single. That one's going to be fouled out of play. Gerwick looks back at the runner on second. Here's the 0-1. Swings through strike 2 on I believe that was a splitter in the dirt. Both of his off-speed pitches break almost identical. Just the slider has a little more horizontal movement. The splitter's all vertical. Gerwick to get the runner out at second. Strand him there, he does. For a strike 3 call. That'll end the bottom half of the third. 3 down, 4 to go left here. Maybe more, who knows? Stay tuned and find out live on MCTV Baseball. 1-0, our score. McConley has gone through 3 innings. Not a lot of run. 4, 5, 6 duel up into the fourth inning. Weaver is going to lead us off. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first inning. No movement from Altoona to go to the pen yet as we're coming to the start of the fourth inning. The windup and the 0-0. Weaver, that's going to be toughly hit. Kind of dies on the grass. There's an error. The play at first is safe. Weaver able to beat out the error by the second baseman. So that'll be reached on an error for Weaver. Now batting, Chase Leister, the first baseman, filling in for Jaden Smith for the next couple of weeks. First time since the first inning, Mifflin County has gotten the leadoff runner on base. Went 3 up, 3 down in the second. Weaver takes his lead at first. That one's going to get hit. Left center field. Left fielder giving chase will be the first out of the inning. Leister got a good piece of it. Just found right to a glove. Now batting Lincoln Rubel. Wind has slowed down to a degree. Not blowing as hard from center. More or less blowing from left field to right now. Comes the first pitch. Pickoff. Weaver back in safely. They're wanting a pickoff, or a balk, I believe. Weaver could have jogged back to the base with that backwards first step. Takes inside for ball 1. You'll notice this with all of the Mifflin County hitters. This was stressed really by Coach Ray Hopple. That first step backwards against a lefty is so important. Rubel, that one's going to get hit. First baseman makes a diving play. They're going to get the force at first. Weaver will get to second. Could have saved possibly runners on the corners. I'm batting Austin McKnight. The third inning, Mifflin County's gotten a runner in scoring position, but nothing to show for it in the runs column. Here comes the pitch. Take strike 1. Looked a little high and into me. Umpire disagrees. Here comes the 0-1 to McKnight. Takes ball one. 1-1's the count. McKnight with a single to the outfield would tie the game, or at least have a good shot of. Knight swings through strike two. That was pitch 50 for McConley. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Knight calling for time. Chris Stein on deck if we get there. McConley looks back at second. Here's the 1-2. Takes outside. Altoona across the board. Runner on second. 2 on. Not 2 on. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. My apologies. Biggest pitch of the game, you feel, for Mifflin County. Here's the 2-2. McKnight fouls it off, stays alive. That one. It's heading right back for the Altoona dugout. That's why you have a fence right in front of the dugout. Able to keep the players safe. Altoona has the fence that covers the fans here, which we have a very big crowd here for some District 6 baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. McKnight takes strike 3 high. I don't think anybody in the Mifflin County dugout can believe it. But we're halfway through this one. Altoona, 9 outs away from getting a victory here at home against the Huskies. Mifflin County one run away from tying it. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. Three of the 4 innings for the Huskies, they've had a runner in scoring position, but have not been able to capitalize on the scoreboard. With 9 outs left to go, can the Huskies reel in a run to tie? Garwick is still on the mound. We saw a little bit of movement in the bullpen. Parker Crownover, expect him to be in case Garwick gets in a pickle or gets out of the inning. We expect him to see him in the 5th. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Huskies whenever we get back for the top half of the order. But batting now for Altoona, number 22. So that first one's going to get hit. Nice play by Leister. Throw over to Gerwick. In time. 1 pitch, 1 out. Great heads-up play there by Leister. Mifflin County's next game, weather permitting, it's going to be at home, or on the road, apologies, at Chambersburg this coming Thursday, weather permitting. Have some movement in the Altoona bullpen. Takes outside for ball 1. The windup and the 1-0. Swung for the moon on that one. It'll be a 1-1 count. 1-1. That one roped. Died quickly into the wind, and that'll be a quick 2 outs. Sounded good off the bat. I think it had just a little too much backspin on it, and it went right in Shire's glove. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. Nice. Strike one there for Gerwick. At the plate, it's going to be Staines. Comes the 0-1. Chop to third. Rubel jumping play. The play at the bag in time for the third out. 3 up, 3 down for the Huskies. I believe Altoona is going to bring in a new arm for the 4th inning. That they will. Don't go anywhere. When we return, top half of the 5th inning for the Huskies. Correction on my previous left off. We're going to keep the same arm on the mound for Altoona. Going to keep in McConley. This will be his 54th pitch. It's 8-9-1 due up in the order. It's going to lead off with the right fielder, Reese Christine. Christine steps into the plate. Mifflin County's had more opportunities than the Mountain Lions, but Altoona's capitalized on their one main opportunity. Here's the 0-0. Christine will take high for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. Christine's going to rope one. That'll get down right here, right in front of us, and Christine is on base with a bloop into right field. Now up Beamer. Beamer walked on 4 pitches last time up. Beamer with his wide stance. 0-for-0 with a walk. Comes the pitch. Going to put a bunt down, a beautiful bunt. They're going to have to throw it down to first in time for the out. Christine gets to second safely, and Evan Strelhacker comes up to the plate in a big-time situation, and it's a big-time player coming up to the plate. Strohacker he's 1-for-1 today with a walk, hitting 1,000 this season. I'll be curious to see if they send Christine around, depending on how hard this ball is hit into the outfield. If they pick off, the ball is going to slightly get away. Christine's actually going to go for third. The play at the bag, he's safe, and that it helps Mifflin County out a lot. The loudest the Huskies crowd has gotten tonight. Huskies travel well together. Proven no more than here Infield's going to play in now for Strohecker. Christine takes his lead over at third. That one chopped to third. Fumbles the ball. The play at the plate. There is none. There's no play at first. And we are tied at 1-1 after Evan Strohecker chopper to third. Fumbled with the ball. Wanted to go home. Christine had a great jump on the ball. And just like that, we have a brand new ball game with 2.5 innings left to go. Strohecker takes his lead over at first. This, ironically, was the inning Mifflin County broke open the game last year. Put up 4 in this half. Shirey ropes one to center field. Center fielder misreads it. That one's going to get over his head. They're going to send Strohecker around to third. They're going to hold him there. Shirey is pumped. Flexes the muscles. And 2 are in scoring with 1 out. Lepley now comes up to the plate. We've been talking all game. Mifflin County needs to capitalize on one of these chances, and there is no better one right now. I believe they're going to intentionally walk Lepley. Or no, it's going to be a mound visit, and I think that's going to be it for McConley. Shirey got all of that one. Center fielder misreads it. That's a tough play, though, to be fair. It's a line drive. You really hasn't had any balls hit his way. But Mifflin County ties it at 1 apiece. I believe this is going to be it for McConley. We will see, though. McConley, nonetheless, great outing. He went 4 1/3 inning. If he gets pulled here, which I think they're actually going to keep him in. They're going to trust the lefty against Lepley. Weaver is on deck. Mifflin County has capitalized on this chance, and they might not be done. Infield playing in once more. Strohecker has an RBI. We'll call that a hit. We'll call him 2 for 2 with a walk and an RBI. All-State second team was the center fielder. Here's the 0-0 to Lepley. Lepley takes strike 1. You got to think, if it's a walk here, you got to think you're applying for the double play. That'd be an interesting choice. We'll see, but that's only if they get a walk here. Here comes the 0-1. Takes inside. One's across the board. 1 run in, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 in scoring position. The infield playing extremely in. McConley sets and fires. Lepley swings for the fences on that one. We'll go 1-2. For the first time since the bottom half of the first inning, Mifflin County has tied the game. That on a tough hit, ground ball to the third baseman. Here comes the 1-2 to Lepley. Lepley takes outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Weaver on deck. Anything over the infield's heads will probably score. We'll score 1, might score 2. The 2-2. Lepley rips one. Left field. Reels it in. Here comes Strohecker tagging from home. No play at the plate. And Mifflin County has flipped this game upside down. Lepley with his second sac fly of the season. It's a bunch of high fives there. Strohecker as well. Mifflin County has taken the lead 2-1. The exact same score sheet last time out against the Little Lions. Could it be maybe a little bit of a deja vu story for the Huskies? In a game last season, every game Mifflin County fell behind at some point. They did not make a comeback victory. They did not have a single game. If they were behind at all in the game, they went on to lose it. Weaver will take strike one on the outside part of the plate. Not trying to jinx it. No wood here. No wood to knock on. Huskies take the lead in the top half of the fifth. Here comes the 0-1. Weaver takes ball one on the outside part of the plate. One ball, one strike, two outs. Insurance run on second. Here comes the pitch. Weaver fouls one off towards the tennis courts. Crowd over staying warm over behind the dugout. It's a 1-2 count to the second baseman. One ball, two strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one's ripped. Left field gets under it. That'll be the third out of the inning, but Mifflin County does get on the board for the first time, and it's in the top half of the fifth inning. 2-1 is our score. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. New pitcher in for the Huskies. It's a familiar face, Parker Crownover. Right-handed pitcher, senior. He's already gotten 3 innings pitched. No earned runs, 1 save. I believe Hartung is now going to head to the bullpen, possibly in case of wanting to close this game out. Fields heads in. Hartung is officially in the bullpen. Might have been able to see him walk by. Here's the first pitch from Crownover. Sets and fires. The 8-9-1 due up in the bottom half of the fifth. It starts with McConley. 1-0. That one going to be high and outside. 2-0. Hartung started against State College. Got the victory. Here's the 2-0. That one will go outside. 3-0. First game for the Huskies in about a week. Just a bit under, actually. Supposed to have a game the previous Monday. And it's going to be a 4-pitch walk from McConley, and we expect a courtesy runner here. No courtesy runner. McConley will stay on the bases. Tying run on first, leading run at the plate. 4-pitch walk. Runner takes off for second. Squeeze. Throw down to second. He's in safely. Did not pop up off the bag. My apologies there. And it's an 0-1 count. Tying runs in scoring position with no outs. Great jump there by McConley. Infield Corners are playing in for the squeeze bunt attempt. No one's back at first. The throw down to third is in safely. Runners on the corners now with no outs. Leister was playing the bunt, wasn't sure whether to go field the ball or go back to the bag. He was stuck in the middle, a little bit of no man's land right there. I tried to get the lead runner out at third, was in safe. Now tying run is at third with no outs. Crownover looking back. Here's the pitch, chopped foul, 1-1 count. If Crownover is going to want to get out of this jam, we're going to need to see the exact same version we saw of him against State College. But a 4-pitch walk, stolen base, and a sac bunt has left runners on the corners. That one is going to get hit to short. Shirey has trouble with the ball. Everybody's safe everywhere. We're tied at 2 apiece. Mifflin County took the lead and right back. Altoona ties it. It looks like Hoppel's going to talk to Crownover. Try and settle him down. I don't think they're going to put Hartung in. I would be shocked if that's the case. We'll see. Runners on first and second, no outs. Straub now comes up to the plate. No, this isn't Straub. My apologies. Squeeze bunt will go outside. Now Hartung's going to head back to the dugout. You assume the next mound visit, we will see the varsity quarterback step into the game. 1-0 count. Shows bunt. Goes. Foul ball. Tuna playing a little bit of small ball here. Very unlikely, but the triple play could get put into effect. 2 on, no out. Bunt will pull back. It's a bunt and run sort of situation that we're seeing here out of Altoona. Crownover looks back. Here's the pitch. Squares it down. Rubel gonna try and make the play at first. Safe. And the bases are loaded with no outs. Small ball by Altoona is working very well. We're going to have a pitching change. Hartung's now going to step in, try and close out this inning. Crownover did not record an out. Hartung's going to get warmed up. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV. Hartung is done warming up, and we are ready for the bottom of the fifth to resume. Tuna's had 5 batters, no outs. We've had 1 scored, 3 on base. And the 5th batter, Strout, the 3-hitter, 3-4-5, would be due up in case of strikeout and strikeout. Hartung, the varsity quarterback for the Huskies football team, will set and fire the 0-0. Take strike 1. Good slider. Caught the outside part of the plate. Mifflin County is able to escape this jam. Even down 1 run, I feel like with the amount of opportunities you've had, you will be able to crawl back into that game. That one's going to get away. Runner's coming home. The play at the plate. Safe. He drops the ball. Now there's runners on second and third. Altoona takes the lead right back. Great effort there by both the catcher and the pitcher. Able to really dive for it the best they can on the pass ball. Here's the 1-1 count. Infield now playing in with the free bag. Hartung sets and fires. That one's going to get chopped to second. The play at the plate is out. Heads up play there by Weaver. Now there's runners on the corners with 1 out. I think that's the smart move to go to home on that situation. You know, if you think about it, there's no outs. You have a runner right behind you on again. I don't hate the gamble because a bad throw, a drop ball, it's a 2-run game now. Routine play, but runners on the corners, 1 out. Double play ball would be magic for the Huskies right about now. Takes ball 1. Must have been inside. So from here, the height looked pretty good. The 1-0. Takes strike 1. Got the outside part of the plate. One's across the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on first and third. For Mifflin County scored 2 in the top half. Altoona's answered back well. Pickoff attempt back in safely. Hartung sets and fires. Runner's going to take off for second. Throw back to third. It's going to get away. And Altoona's going to score 1 run. And now it is 4-2 Mountain Lions. Lepley tried to catch the third base runner off guard. Threw it away. And it's 3 unanswered for the Mountain Lions. Hopple's talking to the umpire about something. I think they're checking on obstruction, maybe? See if there's batter interference. 2 umpires are going to talk about it. This could be pivotal here for the Huskies. If this call gets overturned, it's a 1-run game. Let's see here. believe we're going to stay the exact same. Nothing has been called. So I believe we're staying put. The 2-1 is the count. That one's going to get hit. That's going to get past the diving shortstop. And another run's going to get home for Altoona. It's 4 in the bottom half of the 5th. Altoona's getting hyped. It's 5-2. Advantage Mountain Lions. Pick off the first in safely. Mifflin County said, all right, we'll attack in the 5th inning. Altoona punched them back in the mouth, twice the power. And it's now 5-2 Mountain Lions. So runner on first, 1 out. Pick off. That one looked like he was out. They called him safe. That's the second one that has gone to the advantage of the Mountain Lions on one that you could possibly really flip a coin and decide whether it's out or safe. Another pick off. That one, without a doubt, he's safe. So after all the pickoffs, it's an 0-1 count with 1 out. This will be Hartung's 9th pitch. Runner breaks for second. Lepley, the throw down, high. They're going to call him out in time. And it's an 0-2 count with 2 outs now. Hartung trying to end this dreadful inning for the Huskies. Mifflin County's had the opportunities. I know it's a 3-run game. Don't count them out. The 0-2. Swings and misses, strike 3. Mifflin County's got some work to do after a 4 spot in the bottom half of the 5th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. We welcome you back to MCTV coverage as we reach the 6th inning. Mifflin County needs to get to 6 runs in 6 outs. Tall task on their hands. Most they scored in a conference game last season was 7. That was at home against Mechanicsburg with a rain delay in the middle of those games. So Mifflin County's going to need to get the bats going. It's going to be a new pitcher here for Altoona. To give you an update on our softball team, currently losing to Altoona 11-2. Altoona right now has the upper hand on both baseball and softball teams. McAllister steps in. Third straight game of relief against the Huskies for number 29. McAllister's talking to his infielders. 6 outs, all they need. Mifflin County needs 4 runs. The 6 outs. 3 to tie, 4 to take the lead. It's going to start on the bat of Leister. Leister had a hard hit out his last time at the plate. First pitch from McAllister. That one's going to get chopped. Third base. Throws it over to first in time for the first out. Now batting Lincoln Rubel for the Huskies. Comes the first pitch. Taken for strike 1. McAllister sets and fires. Foul tip. It'll be 0-2 quickly to Rubel. Here comes the 0-2. Rubel swings through for strike 3. That'll be the second out of the 6th. I tried to get somebody else. We're getting some movement down in the bullpen for Mifflin County, trying to presumably save Hartong for their game coming up Thursday. Takes ball low. McKnight will. Currently warming up in the pen, Colin Bush. Here comes the 1-0. Knight will take strike 1. Swings through strike 2. McKnight will. That inning for the Huskies felt like a balloon inflating and then twice the air coming out. That's what it felt like. You score 2, you take the lead, and the next time you're at the bat, you're down 3. 1-2. Holds the swing. It'll be 2s across the board. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McAllister sets and fires. Takes strike 3. That'll be the end of the top of the 6th. When we return, bottom half of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MCTV Baseball. Hartong's going to stay in the game, correction. We'll see how long Hartong goes. Mifflin County to look forward to their next game. They play Chambersburg on the road at Thursday, weather pending. So now Altoona trying to add on insurance if they need any more. Here's the first pitch. That one grounded to second base. Weaver makes an error, throws it to first. They're going to call him out at first. Looked like a bang-bang play at the plate. So that's going to be it for Hartong. Coming straight out of the bullpen here. Making his varsity debut, number 10, Colin Bush. So Bush is going to warm up. We're going to take a break with him. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the sixth action when we return. Bush is done warming up on the mound. Needs to get 2 outs, and Mifflin County scores 3 in the top half. He would need to get 3 more to go to extras. Mifflin County broke open the game, taking a 2-1 lead in the top half of the 5th. Altoona put up 4 in that same bottom half. Here's the first pitch. Foul tip will go back. Out of play. It'll be an 0-1 count. Here comes the 0-1. That one hit right field. Christine gets under it for the second out. If you were to look at the scoreboard right now, you would say the 5th inning is an anomaly right now. 6 of the 7 runs scored were in the 5th inning. Mifflin County having 2, Altoona having 4. Altoona scored on a fielding error in the top half of the bottom half of the first. 2-0 count. Bush on the mound, making his varsity appearance. Bush checks swing. Did he go? I'm going to say no. Let's just say Mifflin County can't believe it. I believe joking. The assistant coach asked the third base coach about Tuna if he went. You love to see some good humor. That one's going to be high, and it'll be a 5-pitch walk. Looked like he went from our POV, but at the end of the day, my voice whenever it comes to final says means nothing. First pitch, that one's outside. It'll be a 1-0 count. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Runner takes off for second. Lepley, the throw down. In time for the out. That'll be the end of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. Mifflin County needs 4 runs on 3 outs. Don't go anywhere. 7th inning action when we return. We welcome you to the top half of the 7th inning. 3 outs away, and then Altoona will get their first victory of the season against the Huskies. So let's take a look around the league, see if we have any score updates for you. State College is playing Chambersburg, and Mifflin County will verse after this game, pending weather. So it'll be 8-9-1 due up again. Couple arms for Altoona heading to the pen just in case. Take strike 1. 0-1 count to the right fielder. Chris Stein pops one sky high. Center fielder's going to call it. That'll be the first out of the inning. 2. We're going to check in up on that Chambersburg State College game. State College leads 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's one more game going on. Now, left fielder will step into the box. Take ball 1. Take strike 1 now. Cumberland Valley is tied with Mechanicsburg at 1 apiece. So everywhere else around the league is the low-scoring game. The 1-1-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Will get fouled back. Beamer at the plate. Strohecker is on deck. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Chopped down the third base line with his speed. It'll be foul, actually. Good from our point of view, but nice, smart heads-up play by the third baseman to let it roll foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the left fielder. takes ball high. 2-2 count. Two balls, two strikes, one out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Chops it foul. We'll do it again. Here comes the 2-2. Take low. Count goes full. Have a final from our softball game. Mifflin County dropped that one 14-2. And it looks like unless Bunny Rabbit pops out of the magician's hat, it'll be a similar outcome. Strike 3 called. Beamer thought it was ball 4. Strohecker comes up to the plate. It's the last life for the Huskies. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Strohecker just trying to keep the game alive for one more batter. Ball 1, low. One ball is no strike. Takes high, 2-0 count. Strohecker is 6 for 6 when it comes to getting on base this season. Takes strike 1. The 2-1 count. Strohecker chops one to third, and this should do it. Play at the bag, and it's in time. Altoona will improve and get their first win of the season to a 1-1 record. Mifflin County will drop to 1-1. And they'll go 1-1 so far in District 6. We will see you Thursday here on MCTV Baseball, where Mifflin County hits the road once more. They take on a red-hot Chambersburg team. I'm Aiden Stevens. You've been listening to MCTV Baseball. Be safe and have a good rest of your night. Final score, Altoona 5, Huskies 2.